prayer 18. Okay, I'll chant the prayer. Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. I think since we three are only there, Ganesh.
So should we
We
progress?
yeah
Yeah, should we start from where we left last time?
yeah that only.
Okay. So I think we finished up till page 18.
Yeah.
Now it's
The
the scheme of the Shastras.
scheme of chapter. You can start reading.
Okay. Hari Om. Once we have understood the benefits of self-knowledge, an obvious question is, where can we find this knowledge? What are the sources of this self-knowledge? People may be academically well qualified with degrees that literally run from A to Z and are professionally well accomplished, but they often tend to break down when faced with faced with life as a householder or even some competitive situations in the workplace. These issues could range from a simple difference of opinion with the spouse, disagreement with children, a misunderstanding with a close friend, or differences with superiors and colleagues in office, etc. When faced with such a situation, all academic degrees and professional achievements, all the knowledge from these sources do not come to the rescue, because all this knowledge and professional achievements do not provide any guidance. They do not deal with the moot question, who, whom am I? Whom am I who is facing this world? In what capacity am I dealing with this world? And therefore, when all the worldly knowledge fails, it follows that one should go in search of some other source for gaining the knowledge required to face the world. This is where our traditional scriptural literature plays a very, very important role. In this vast ocean of literature, we have 4 layers of scriptures that concentrate on self-knowledge. The first and original source is called Veda, or Shruti, which is said to be discovered by the rishis or sages. It is said that the Vedas were directly revealed to the rishis by the Lord or the Creator himself when they were in deep meditation. The sages were the seers of the Vedas. They did not compose them, they received the Vedas directly when their minds were attuned to the frequency in which these were transmitted by the Lord. It's just like television or radio, where one can watch or listen to a particular program only by tuning to a specific transmission center and a specific frequency channel. Similarly, the sages received these revelations, called Vedas, which are the source of knowledge. Veda means true knowledge. This is the first layer which we call Shruti, which we will call Shruti. Sorry. The second layer of knowledge is called Smriti. Smriti is a body of literature written by the rishis, the sages elaborating the contents of the Shruti. So unlike the Shrutis, the rishis are the authors of the Smritis. The third layer of literature is called Brahmasutrani or the Sutra literature, which is also written by rishis. The most important sutra is the Brahma Sutra. This literature is unique because it gives a logical support to the teachings in the Shruti and Smriti. It reinforces the teachings, satisfying our reasoning and scientific intellect. Our intellect understands the language of reason only, and therefore the Sutra literature reinforces the knowledge contained in Shruti Smriti with Tarka reasoning and Nyaya logical inference. This is the third layer of literature, and these three layers are considered to be most important sources of self-knowledge. These are the foundations or pillars of our traditional wisdom. These three are called Prasthanatrayam. Prasthana means the method of gaining knowledge or the path of knowing, and Trayam means three, the fundamental three, the original source of self-knowledge.
I think now Nirmala ji can start with.
Yeah, sure. Upanishads come under the Vedas or the original source. All the Upanishads are called Shruti Prasthanam. The Bhagavad Gita comes under Smriti because it has been written by sage Vyasacharya, a great rishi, as a part of the great epic Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita is called Smriti Prasthanam. Brahma Sutra is called Nyaya Prasthanam. And then we have a fourth layer which is called Prakaranam, which is authored by the various acharyas, teachers or the gurus in a parampara or tradition. The original wisdom has been carried forward generation after generation by the Guru Shishya parampara. Several works have been written by traditional teachers like Adi Shankaracharya and his disciples like Sureshvaracharya and Vidyaranya Swami, who was a great acharya of Sringeri Pitham. Even today, great acharyas are continuously adding to these teachings. Therefore, unlike the first three, which are the works of sages or rishis, the Prakaranam are works of the acharyas. These are the four sources of self-knowledge. We have innumerable Prakaranams written by innumerable acharyas. And generally, a systematic Vedantic study starts with Prakaranams rather than delving straight into the Prasthanatrayam, the original sources. The reason we choose the Prakaranams is that they are written by later acharyas who can understand the minds of the modern generation. They have the ability to present the teachings in a language and with modern examples that can be better understood by the present generation. The original works cannot give modern examples. Moreover, these works are in Sanskrit, a language which many people in modern times do not follow. As the later acharyas can render the teaching in a language understood by modern students, it is easier to start with the Prakaranams. Should I continue?
Yeah, please. One more paragraph.
Yeah. One of the simplest Prakaranam is known as Tattvabodha, a text we have selected for our current study. Tattvabodha is based on the teachings contained in the Prasthanatrayam. It is written using a simple form and in a simple language. It is comprehensive and the thoughts are presented systematically. The author has adopted a prose style in this text. It is generally believed that the Tattvabodha was originally written by Adi Shankaracharya. However, opinions differ on this. Another school of thought claims that this was actually written by a disciple of an acharya called Vasudevendra Saraswati, because, as we shall see later, the text starts with prayers offered to Vasudevendra, who is stated to be the guru of the author. It is the tradition of all acharyas to start their works with a prayer offered to their gurus and God. The author's name does not appear anywhere in the text.
Can I will. It can therefore be surmised that Tattvabodha was written by an unnamed author who was the disciple of an Acharya called Vasudevendra Saraswati. Generally, this name is given to Acharyas belonging to the Kanchi Peetham tradition. Indra Saraswati is the suffix that all Acharyas of Kanchi tradition use. For example, we know Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, Jayendra Saraswati, Vijayendra Saraswati, all are Shankaracharyas belonging to the Kanchi Peetham Parampara. And therefore, the author could have been an Acharya connected with the Kanchi Peetham. However, these are mere conjunctures, as no more details are available. Having said that, it does not really matter who the author of the text is. It is enough to understand that author is a Acharya who had complete knowledge of scriptures and being of the modern times has presented this knowledge is a simple and easy to understand format. The studying of Tattvabodha has twin objectives. The first is to systematically acquire self-knowledge, which is the primary aim. We have already seen in the previous chapter that self-knowledge has a five-fold benefit. Therefore, gathering self-knowledge in a systematic manner is the first objective. The second objective is, as even the author gives or imparts this knowledge, the author is systematically introducing us to the technical terms used in the scriptures. We call it the jargons of a particular science. Like a lawyer uses legal jargons, a doctor uses medical jargon, etc. Every subject has got its own technical terms, which are almost impossible to translate in any other language. An effective way to study any subject is to learn and understand the technical terms and start using them in learning that subject. Okay. I think we could share our thoughts now and then move on to next session from Ganesh Ji can start.
Yeah,
So,
I had a question. Since we went reading so fast, I wanted to know what is the meaning of Prakaranam? Is it a layer of the scripture?
no. These are classifications of scriptures into different categories.
Okay,
Like Shruti means it is transferred by the words of the Guru to the Shishya. So it is heard. We hear it from the Guru and learn. So
right.
Vedas are called Shruti, and they were, as it was said in this book, they were directly transferred from Ishvara to our rishis. And then the second types are of smritis are second type is called smriti literature, because they are written by the rishis themselves. Like
Okay,
we have Manusmriti and many other smritis are there by different rishis, like Yajnavalkya Smriti is there and several Smritis are there. So those are texts written by the rishis. And later comes the third groups, that's called Sutra literature. They are like Sutra is like aphorism, or I don't know if that word will correctly suit it. Anyway, small equations. It's like Vedantic equations. They present them in a short sentences. About 555 short sentences form this. 555 short sentences, 555 sutras form
okay.
this book called Brahma Sutra, and there are some other sutras also.
Like
So
the
that
Patanjali
forms
Yoga Sutras also.
what?
Like the Patanjali Yoga Sutras.
Yeah. So they all form part of the sutra literature,
Okay,
and the Buddhists also used to. Every school of thought you had their own sutra literature at times. So our sutra literature to us means those commended Vedic Brahman. Panini sutras are also there regarding the Sanskrit grammatical rules. So here they are referring to Vedanta Sutras, which is mainly Brahma Sutra. And later there are other texts called uh, there later acharyas like the people mentioned in this
Adi
book
Shankar.
there, like yeah, Adi Shankaracharya,
Okay, okay.
Sureshwaracharya, many Vidyaranya Swami, and wrote Panchadashi was written by him, and there are other texts like Dirghidesha Viveka and Madhusudana Saraswati Swamiji also has written lots of. These are Prakarana texts. These books form the category called Prakarana Grantha. These were written by acharyas, not rishis. So that's why they are called Prakarana Granthas. Uh, I think, yeah. And Swamiji puts forward a very important concept here that we should always use the technical terms as such. And we had seen this in the Lost in Translation section by on in Essentials of Dharma. Prashantji had conducted
Right,
earlier.
right. I remember.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think Ganeshji, did you attend? Yeah. I don't think so.
No, I didn't actually. I didn't know the about the hangout. I wrote
Okay.
to Prashantji after that, so
Okay.
he sent me the details and he said that next time when he conducts,
Oh yeah,
he'll add
yeah,
me.
yeah.
In fact, he
I
held
think
it twice. The Lost in Translation module 2, he did it twice,
yeah, he
actually.
did twice. He
Yeah.
had done once for us, and then again he did. And you can get the
The
YouTube
YouTube
recording.
video. Yeah, I will. I
Yeah,
will have a look at them.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really great because you see when we translate these words like Atma to soul, soul is totally different concept.
Hmm.
Like it represents like it it has its origins. English language has its origins in the Abrahamic culture actually.
Yes.
It came from Latin and I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, it originated in a society which was predominantly Abrahamic or almost completely Abrahamic. So the words like soul, they say plants don't have souls, animals don't have souls, only humans have souls. But Atma is not like that.
Hmm.
Everybody, I mean, Atma is all pervading, not just belonging to humans or anything. And Atma does not rest in peace. And after that, till waiting for some judgment day, all that does not. Uh, so it's wrong to use such words. So as Swamiji says, we can learn the technical terms as such and then understand what that term means. We can understand in this through English language. So that's very important. Very great point Swamiji makes.
Yeah. I think the other point to make on Prakaranams was the fact
Ah,
that there is this perspective given about modern generations. So if you look at general people who look at Vedanta, like followers like me, for instance, I'm new to Vedanta. I don't really consider myself to be a Vedanta follower who's been really true about the concepts and really understood it very well. So for people like me who come from a rational, scientific kind of a background, for us to kind of relate to Vedanta and straight away go into Shruti would actually be a tall ask. So the Prakaranams actually make the path much easier because they cite examples and cite instances which are much more comprehensible for newcomers like us. And actually, it also abides by the generation as the knowledge keeps getting passed on. So let's say in future generations, when our kids
yeah,
or maybe our offspring start coming into Vedanta newly, then it's always advisable to start with the Prakaranam so that you at least get good exposure, learn the technicals, and then slowly get into the sutras and slowly into the other triumphs.
Yeah, very nicely put. Thank you.
yeah. I can totally relate to what you said.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, very important point. I completely agree with you because directly going to Upanishads or like Bhagavad Gita would be very hard without a basic text like Tattvabodha. That's why mainly Swamiji starts every course nowadays. I I think from a certain when he got to know about this text, Swamiji always starts every course with Tattvabodha only, which is Swamiji.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
So
Shamuji, I
I think
want to
we can
share.
continue. Ganesh,
Yeah, sure. No, I just wanted to share that I was 6 months into Gita and then I realized there's a
hello.
script called Tattvabodha. Hello?
Same here, Nirmala ji. Actually,
Yeah,
I
I
also,
was also,
yeah,
yeah, I can hear you.
yeah, basically, I also started with the Gita because Gita is more, I would say, more popular in this when it comes to scriptures. I mean, even if you ask general people outside who may not necessarily follow Vedanta to the strict sense, the most common kind of scriptural literature that binds all the religions, all Hindu, uh, what you can say, all Hindu community together is the Gita. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
most popular book that everyone refers to. But yeah, I had the same kind of feeling when the first time I came across Tattvabodha. I just felt I should stop the Gita and then I should come back to Tattvabodha, get the concepts really right, and then move into the Gita. You just understand the subject much more better.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
correctly. Otherwise, we'll be like just confused. We would have our own opinion about Gita. That's it. But to get what the parampara, the acharyas want us to know, we need to go through this text
Yeah.
in a systematic way.
Yeah. And
Okay,
just
now
to
I
kind
think
of,
we can start now, right?
okay,
Finish
fine.
the,
Yeah. The
yeah,
author,
please.
the author through
No, please
Tattvabodha.
do. Please.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Can you
We
hear?
can hear you. Yeah, Ganesh, we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
hear
we can hear. Please go.
Okay.
Yeah,
The author through Tattvabodha introduces us to these technical terms found in our scriptures. In Sanskrit, these technical terms are called paribhasha. The word bhasha means normal terms and paribhasha means technical terms used only in that particular shastra or scripture. For example, there are different shastras or scriptures like Tarka Shastra, Vyakarana Shastra, Mimamsa Shastra, Yoga Shastra, Vedanta Shastra, Natya Shastra, etc. And in every Shastra there are Paribhasha Shabdaha, words or terms, and we start our learning with these technical terms. Once we are equipped with this tool, it becomes a lot easier later on to read and understand the Prasthanatrayam. With this background, we now enter the text properly. The entire text of Tattvabodha is in a prose form, except for the first and last portions, which are in the form of verses. Should we start with the invocation, Shamuji? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, should we start with the invocation?
Yeah.
Okay. वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते. In the Indian tradition, before starting any project, undertaking, or endeavor, be it a worldly or religious activity, it is customary to start with a prayer offering. A prayerful attitude is the uniqueness of the Indian culture. Is not confined to a particular place and time, but it is believed that our whole life should be conducted with a prayerful attitude. We believe that we have to convert every activity into a worship of the Lord. Work is worship for us. That is why at the end of 9 days of Navaratri, 9 nights puja, we celebrate the Ayudha instruments puja, which has nothing to do with the religious festival of Navaratri. On this day, the instruments that a person uses to earn his living, like a carpenter's tools, the tools of a goldsmith or an ironsmith, musical instruments, and the like are worshipped. Another example of this reverential attitude is that a bus driver, when he takes out his bus in the morning, first offers a prayer. Most drivers will not go in reverse while driving the bus for the first time in a day. They will go forward a little bit and then only go in reverse. These are examples of attitude. The philosophy is that in life one should always go forward. Continuing, according to the philosophy, success always depends on two factors. The first factor is our own sincere effort, which we call prayatna, self-effort. Without this self-effort, nothing can take place and nothing can be achieved. The second factor is Ishvara Anugraha, the grace of Lord, of the Lord, which pertains to all the unseen, unpredictable. It is these to us for the success of our endeavor. For example, as a farmer, we can sow the seeds of a good crop, but rains must come on time. This is not in our control. We can set out on a journey or a trip, but we wouldn't know if we will get caught in traffic or will have to reroute due to road diversion. We may plan a grand party to entertain friends at home, but we cannot know if the fun will be spoiled by a sudden power cut. There are a number of such factors that are beyond our control. All these external uncontrollable factors
I
are
think
called.
now Nirmala ji can.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
All these external uncontrollable factors are called Daivam in the scriptures. Daivam is equal to unpredictable, uncontrollable factors. Therefore, before we start any endeavor, we pray that this Daivam must be favorable to us. Some may choose to call it luck or good luck, but the scriptures don't call it luck. It is called Ishvara Anugraha. Thus, both self-effort and grace of the Lord are equally important for success. Effort is something we can take care of. It is under our control. But the question is how to handle Daivam. This is accomplished by offering prayers. The scriptures proclaim that prayers have the capacity to alter extraneous factors. One can therefore fully understand the anxiety of the author of Tattvabodha. He may start writing the book, but he does not know if he will be able to complete it. He knows that there are factors beyond his control which will determine the success or otherwise of this endeavor. And therefore, the author invokes the grace of the Lord in the very first verse. And for the students for whom this text is meant, their anxiety would be that the study which they have commenced should conclude successfully. Even for this, they require the grace of the Lord to overcome obstacles that may come in the way of their pursuit. The first verse is therefore called the invocatory verse, or in Sanskrit, Prarthana Shloka. Another uniqueness of the Hindu tradition is that the teachers or gurus are looked upon as manifestations of the Lord Himself. They are the blessings given by the Lord Himself. That the guru or teacher is held in the highest esteem is demonstrated in the following verse. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Gurureva Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara are the Hindu Trinity gods. So this verse means the teacher, that is Guru, is Brahma, the Guru is Vishnu, the Guru is Maheshwara. The Guru is verily the Parabrahma, the Supreme Brahman, salutations to that Guru. As stated earlier, since Guru and God are one and the same, often a prayer to the Lord is replaced by prayer to the Guru. Ishvara Prarthana is replaced by Guru Prarthana, and therefore this author also is offering his salutations to his Guru Vasudevendra Yogendra. Anjuji, would you like to read?
Yes, that's fine. Now let's consider the meaning of the verse. Natva means I offer, my namaskara, salutations, and along with the author, we also offer our prostrations to Vasudevendra Yogendra, the Guru whose name is Vasudevendra and who is Yogendra, a great yogi. In Sanskrit, the word Indra means great when it occurs as a suffix at the end of the word. For example, Simhindra means the great lion, Manushendra means great men, etc. The word yoga has several meanings. The most popular ones refer to yoga asanas, which are physical exercises or postures. But in this context, the word yoga means self-knowledge. Therefore, yogi means the one who has self-knowledge, a wise person, a jnani. So Yogendra means Jnanendra, which that is a great jnani. And interestingly, Vasudeva is one of the names of Lord Krishna, who is also considered as a great guru as he gave the teachings contained in the Bhagavad Gita to the world. Thus the author indirectly salutes Lord Krishna also. Lord Krishna is referred to as Jagadguru, teacher of the world, in the following oft-quoted verse. Vasudevastutam Devam Karma Charuna Maradanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Thus, indirectly, the namaskara or salutations go to Jagadguru Krishna also. And why is the author offering salutations to Vasudevendra? He gives the reason. The author says that Vasudevendra is Gurum, that is my Guru, my Acharya, my guide, my master, my teacher. The word Guru means the one who shines the light to remove the darkness or ignorance. In Sanskrit, Ru means light and Gu means darkness. So Guru means the light which removes darkness. The derivation of the word is explained in the following verse. Does somebody else want to read next? Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, Anjuji, clear.
Okay. All right. I'm
Yeah,
not so good
I'll
with...
read. I'll continue.
Okay. Okay.
I'll continue. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Thus, indirectly, the namaskara or salutations to go to Jagadguru Krishna also. And why is the author offering salutations to Vasudevendra? He gives the reason. The author says Vasudevendra is Guru. That that is my Guru, my Acharya, my guide, my master, my teacher. The word Guru means the one who shines the light to remove the dark.
I think Shamuji got disconnected.
Yes.
Yes, I think so. Was he rereading the same thing I read?
Yeah, just the last verse.
Okay.
Ganeshji, would you like to proceed?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
गुकारस्तवन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकाः अन्धकारनिवर्तित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते. The meaning of this verse is that the local light will remove the external darkness, whereas knowledge will remove the internal darkness. And the person who removes the internal darkness, called ignorance, through knowledge is called a guru. And what has the guru given? Jnana Pradam. Jnanam means knowledge, Pradam means grant or bestow. The author says that his guru has given him knowledge, he has blessed him with knowledge, and we need to understand in the context that the knowledge he is referring to is Atma Jnanam, i.e., knowledge of the self. And through this verse, the author is hinting that implies that he did not beget the self-knowledge by self-study. He did not attain self-knowledge by his own sadhana efforts. He took the help of a guru, just as every person pursuing his doctoral degree should have a guide. In the spiritual field also, having a guide is compulsory. Without that, one is liable to be misguided and confused. And therefore, the author says, implication that like him, every student should get this self-knowledge only through a guru. Thus, the underlying message is that one should obtain this knowledge from someone who is competent to teach this subject. One must not rely on translations. If sports like cricket, football, tennis, etc. require a guide or coach, what to talk of this highest pursuit in life of acquiring self-knowledge? Having offered his salutations and also glorified his guru, the author next states the purpose of his endeavor.
I think we can
Should I
stop here and
continue or do you want to
I
continue,
think we
Nirmalaji?
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Shamuji. We just continued.
Yeah. I think we can have a discussion
Should I
again.
continue
What?
reading or
No,
do you
no.
want to take
We
over,
can have a
Nirmalaji?
Ganeshji.
Yeah. Yeah, he's saying we'll have a discussion, Ganeshji. Shamuji is telling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No
we
problem.
can. Some important topics are also.
No problem.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One point Paramartha Swamiji stresses here is the need of guru. That many people say we can do self study and gain Atmajnanam or go into some deep meditation and gain Atmajnanam. But the Vedas and the Shastras clearly state that one must have a guru. So Paramarthanand is highlighting this factor by saying that self knowledge is for self knowledge one needs to have a guru course compulsorily. And having a guru does not mean any sort of blind faith or anything like that, but it means we are having Shraddha in Guru and Shastram. Guru is someone, I think, one of the Upanishads, it has been said, the qualifications of Guru has been mentioned. And it is said that a Guru is Srotriyam Brahmanishtam. A guru is one who is Srotriya and Brahmanishta. Srotriya means one who has studied the Shastras from a guru again, who has properly studied the Shastras from a competent guru, and Brahmanishta means he has a nishtha for this knowledge, for this he is he has a Brahmanishta. He has a nishtha for Brahman and the knowledge also. the jnana. These, so this so at least Puji Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji says a guru should be at least the minimum qualification is Srotriya. So that's one point I wanted to make. If you have any other thoughts, you can also.
I think the important point about invocation has been explained in the first stage of this definition. So as we can all see, the whole Tattvabodha text has started with a prayer where author is actually God and giving he's praying to Lord Vasudevendra, who he considers as his guru, who has given him and imparted him this knowledge. So basically, the importance of starting any activity with a prayer or the perspective of invocation has been explained in the start of the text. There are examples given like let's say a bus driver who's basically taking his bus out. He would normally take the bus a little forward, and then he would go back to the reverse gear if he has to do a reverse. And basically in the Indian tradition, we always carry a reverential attitude, and what that means is basically whatever we are doing. In the previous passage, as we got to know about our self effort and Ishvara Anugraha, we always have got to invocate and pray for the Lord to ensure that what we endeavor to do is indeed successful, and we don't go through any hurdles.
Yeah, Puji Swamiji explains some situations. One of the instances is he said it is for also for this book to that the book will be helpful to the future generations and future seekers. Mumukshus also. So that's why the author is presenting this book. So book with a prayer. So he says as a joke that the book can be ajabakshida, means can be eaten by a goat, or various things can happen to this book. A book, or we have lots of texts that got lost in time period, like during the Islamic invasion, uh, or like that. Lots of libraries were burned and people were killed. So there were lots of books that got lost. But Tattvabodha is one book that wasn't lost. So I think the author's prayer has been granted its wish, I think. So that's one thing, important thing. And as Ganeshji mentioned, uh, starting anything, whatever we endeavor we starting it with a prayer is a very important part in Indian tradition. You cannot see that elsewhere. Anything we start in, whatever it be, we start with a prayer. That's a great attitude we should have in life. Even our great acharyas also start their uh, pravachanams with a prayer only, and they end it with prayer only. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like when we even wake up in the morning, we start, and even when we sleep before bedtime, we end. That's what my mother teaches, so I'm sure that's also a valid point.
yeah. That's. I think now who is now Nirmala ji, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we start 31, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
page 30. Tattvabodha Abhidhiyate. Abhidhiyate means teaching or imparting. He says that he is going to teach or impart. Bodhaha, the knowledge of the Tattvam, that is, the real self, the real nature, the higher nature, the superior nature. And here is another important message from the author. What we see, what we perceive with the help of our senses need not be the real nature of anything or any object. Let us take the case of scientific progress. When the scientists initially entered into the inquiry of the creation, They found that the creation has some other truth than what they could perceive. This led to the discovery of many elements. Their first conclusion was that the combination of the elements was the creation. Thereafter, after further research, their views changed. They then thought that the elements were not the true nature, but that they were made up of various molecules. And so, the molecules were the true nature of the creation. Thereafter, more research followed, and they discovered that the molecules were made up of atoms. Now they surmised that it was not the molecules, but the atoms which form the fundamentals of the nature or creation. This theory also got negated when they discovered the subatomic particles and said that the creation was made up of subatomic particles. And now the current thinking is that creation is nothing but energy in motion. So according to modern science, the true nature of the solid, tangible wall that we see with our eyes and feel with our hands is in fact the non-tangible energy. Does this sound believable? Energy cannot be seen, but we can see the wall. Energy cannot be touched, but the wall we can touch. This untouchable, imperceptible energy is the true nature of this tangible and perceptible wall. This means what the eye sees is not the true nature of anything. What the sense organs perceive is not the true nature of anything in the creation. So we can conclude that sense organs do not report the real nature. Similarly, the author seems to be implying here that when I am seeing yourself, it is not the real you that I see. It is something different. I cannot trust my sense organs to see the real self in you. And that is why I am going to impart the knowledge of the real nature of the self. And all this is for whose benefit? Mumukshuna hitarthaya. Hitarthaya means for the benefit of. Mumukshuna refers to those persons who are serious seekers of moksha, the fivefold benefits discussed in the previous chapter, which collectively is called moksha. This is Mangala Shlokaha, auspicious verse, or Prarthana Slokaha, prayer verse. In English, we call it the benedictory verse. In the Vedas, such a verse is called Shanti Pathaha. This opening prayer is in verse form. Hereafter, we enter the text which is in prose form.
Now we can have discuss whatever we have read and then move to then conclude today's. If you have any thoughts or questions or anything, you can share.
It was nice how they made the conclusion that science, where science leaves off, is where something else goes on.
That's true. Science is actually dealing with what we call uh, relative reality. We will see different orders of reality and all in this text as we go further. But uh, in what we call the Mithya Prabanja, Mithya does not mean illusion. We'll see that later. But Mithya means relative reality. So all the science, what we call science, the modern science deals with, and everything else like Ayurveda or anything deals with the Nitya Prabanja, which is uh, relative reality, and one of the teachers, Acharya Sadananda ji, says, he is also a disciple of Paramarthananda ji, says that Vedanta is absolute science, means Vedanta deals with the absolute. In the sense, that sense, he says Vedanta is absolute science. It's the science about what is Nitya, and rest is the science about what is this Prapancha, the manifestation of Ishvara. And while Vedanta is the science of Brahman. So anything else to add? I think we can conclude now. Shall we conclude?
Yeah, sure, Shamuji. I
Ah,
just
ah,
one question. Shamuji, can you hear
ah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Is there a way to chant the Tattvabodha verses? Because Gita verses, so many people have chanted, and there's a normal format. So I wasn't sure whether Tattvabodha also there is a chanting format.
Yeah, Gita chanting format was actually introduced by Puji Swamiji. He introduced that format, which we
Right.
follow in Chinmaya mission also, and even in Asai Guru. The
Correct,
other,
correct.
I am not aware of if there is any chanting, but Tattvabodha is in prose form, not as
Okay.
like in that in prose form. So I don't think there is a chanting format.
Okay, okay. I was just curious, so that is why I asked.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure. You can ask Prashant. He's expert in Tattvabodha.
Correct, correct, correct. Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
we can conclude now.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, conclude. Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om.
Thank you.